one and all. My name's Taylor Bacon over here at the Preteen Ministry of First United Methodist Church of Baton Rouge, where every single time we gather, it's an adventure. Speaking of adventure, we're going to start with a game called Guess That Baby. It's really simple. I'll show you a picture of a baby animal, and you have to tell me what it grows into. Are you ready? Here's the first one. Any guesses? If you guessed a baby giant panda, it definitely looks different as a newborn. Let's move to the next picture. Believe it or not, this is a baby flamingo. It looks like way different without the pink feathers and the really long legs. Let's move on to the next one. How about this one? This caught me off guard. I was expecting a butterfly, but regardless, I'm sure there are some good guesses. It's a ladybug larva. And finally, how about this baby? This little guy looks like it had a run-in with a cactus, but it's actually a newborn hedgehog. It sort of looks cute. How about a show of hands from you? How many of you have a grandparent, an uncle, a neighbor, or somebody else who says, "I remember when you were a wee little baby. Now you're getting so big"? Anyone? Are you raising your hand? Yes. They probably still pinch your cheeks too. I'm really sorry about that. It's just kind of a part of life. You start out in this world as an adorable, crying, wrinkled baby, and you grow into young men and women. Then people older than you will comment on how much you've grown. Now, the Apostle Paul knew a thing or two about growing, but growing in faith and wisdom. Which brings us to our Bible story for the day. Listen to what Paul wrote. Don't live the way this world lives. Let your way of thinking be completely changed. Then you will be able to test what God wants for you. And you will agree that what he wants is right. His plan is good and pleasing and perfect. Now, Paul understood God's path was much different than the world's path. Wisdom from God is not always compatible with wisdom of the world. If we're not careful, we can let the world change us into something God doesn't want us to be. And if we're not careful, we can let the world define who we are. We're called to live differently than the world. And when you look at the life of Jesus, that's exactly what he did. While the world said to hate your enemies, Jesus said to pray for them. While the world said that the person with the most power is the most important, Jesus said that the greatest person is the one who serves. For us to live differently, we must completely change our thinking. It's like it says in Proverbs 3:5, "Trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding." In other words, trust and depend on God more than any other voices in your life. When we do that, our thoughts will shift towards God and what he says is true. And you'll agree that what he wants is right. His plan is good and pleasing and perfect. Throughout your life, you'll face difficult situations. When something difficult happens, you can stand strong and ask God to show you what to say and what to do. The more you invite God to shape what you believe and think in your head, the more you'll grow in wisdom. As long as you continue to seek God and his ways, you will never max out on wisdom. We never want to stop pursuing God. Now, if you've watched any of our videos, you know we always leave you with something to think about. And that's why it's now time.
Reveal the question.
How are you wiser than you used to be? Think about the decisions you make now. How are they different than the sort of choices you made last year? How do they show that you're growing in your relationship with God? Check out the comments section for some activities that you can do to dig a little bit deeper. And if you liked this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with a friend or two. And we'll see you next time.